per usual. Actually, sometimes I'll be on time. Sometimes I'll be on time. Sometimes. What's going on, everybody? Spain man. Spain man got the hourglass. Shout out to everybody in here. Let me give my intros. Well, I don't know why I'm doing that when the Z is in the goddamn mechanic shop right now. Yeah. But yeah, what's going on? Spain man, AL, AB. AB, I was just checking out your stream. I'm about 20 minutes behind. I was checking it out. I did not know that Herschel Walker was in MMA. Oh crap. And yo, Herschel Walker built better than me, and he's like, he could be my dad. God damn. Herschel Walker's built. When people say specimen, they're talking about a Herschel Walker built dude. God damn. Right? Okay. Yeah. I gotta catch up on my debates, man. I gotta catch up on all the debates, all of them. Rest in peace, Tiffany Cross's career. Anyway, but for real, that kind of sucks. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, didn't they learn? Did we not learn from what's her face? Melissa Harris, Lacewell Perry, around the world, whatever the hell, like Professor Black Truth said. Did we not learn? Like, yo, this is what MSNBC does. They let you come to work. They smile in your face. Like, if that is the most white liberal thing on the planet. Look you in the face, give you the fake smile, plot behind your back, and then blink, you're gone. Right? I'm not even laughing at Tiffany Cross. It's kind of messed up. Like, she thought everything was good. She threw black men under the bus every chance she got, right? Mommying them, she did what she was supposed to do, and they still got rid of you. Did what you thought you wasn't gonna be Melissa, Lacewell Perry, or Harris Perry, right? I can't remember. One of them is the maiden name, and the before the marriage name, and the other one is not. But whatever. Okay. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Super chats will be read out loud. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Yes, loud background. Yes, I'm on the road. Fear not, people. I am going home. I am not going to work. Well, I'm coming from work. I'm going home. Thank God. Actually, lies. I'm going to get something to eat. Then I'm going home. My lady is asleep. I think, maybe, probably. So, let's get into it. Did y'all hear that somber tone in BGS's voice? You know, BGS and Black Uru were born during Jim Crow. They spent their young lives during Jim Crow. And like BGS said, he got to benefit to a certain extent from Jim Crow, you know, the end of Jim Crow, right? And, you know, I somewhat agree with him. For all of you that keep on saying race doesn't matter, we're about to see, right? I'm somewhat of a student of history. I disagree, right? Yes, I have white friends and associates too. Less now than I did when I was a bit younger, but still. And yeah, I don't know, right? Have black men been benefiting from affirmative action over the past 30-ish years, definitely 35-ish years? No, not really. Not really, no. I'll agree, right? But for me, it's not just the repealing of affirmative action. It's the repealing of affirmative action. It's the repealing of Roe versus Wade. It's Elon Musk owning Twitter. It's Jeff Bezos being able to do whatever the hell he want to do, pressure politicians into giving him a piece of a contract, even though he lost the bid to Elon Musk and SpaceX. You know, this country's leaning a little fascist, y'all. To me, at least. To me, right? And I don't know how that looks for black people. Black women and black men. You know, I don't know. I hope y'all are right. I hope black men are ready. Right? Because, you know, it's for me, it's not. If we pause on the conversation about black women for a second and look at the overall landscape, it ain't looking good. It's just not, right? So I don't know. I don't know. So, oh yeah, and you know what I forgot to bring up earlier when we were on Tucker Carlson a little bit? For those of you that remember when what's his name? Bregman, Rutger Bregman, I forgot. Is he Swedish or like Norwegian or something like that? And he flamed Tucker. Tucker didn't see him coming. Tucker thought he was gonna be able to use him, and like he flamed Tucker Carlson, right? So yeah, he got Tucker. He caught Tucker slipping on the phone. But yeah, so yeah, that was interesting. So that was a person I should have remembered. Flame Tucker. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So the reason why I brought this up again, with affirmative action, and this time we're kind of more focusing on BGS. Just posted a few hours ago, which I caught. We see certain people trying to privatize everything. They're even trying to go after the post office, right? I mean, the post office of all things. And you align that also with the repeal of affirmative action. And then going after private schools too, right? Like, I mean, you want privatization, but the private schools that might adhere to certain tenets of affirmative action, you're going at them. But I thought y'all are the same people that want to be able to discriminate against like LGBTQ and stuff. But you want to be able to discriminate against LGBTQ, but then you don't want these people to say, you know what, we want LGBTQ in our spaces, and we want blacks in our spaces, and we want Latinos in our spaces. What? What type of weird double standard crap y'all got going on here? Something ain't right. The math ain't mathing. So you want to be able to discriminate, but not really? Right? Mainly black women, but still. Right? Right? This is like frightening, yo. Then from my understanding, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong when I get a chance, I will be reading the comments. But from my understanding, it's primarily checking. Next year, it will be like work related, right? So yeah, this ain't looking good, right? I mean, like I said, for the brothers that were kind of celebrating, okay, I hope you're right. And because the way I look at it, right, the way Mr. Z looks at it, yes, talking about myself in a third person, shout out to Elmo, is I don't look at these things necessarily from the position that black people, black men in particular, could be in, right? I don't look at these things from the position we could be in, we should be in, we would be in. I look at these things from the position we're in currently. Now, do I have hope that we can be in a better place? Yes. Do I want us to work to be in that better place? Yes. But assuming that we don't get there, definitely not in the short term, right? I look at where we are now, and I'm like, okay, are you ladies and gents, black people, that are indifferent at best and celebratory at worst? Or y'all looking at where we are now, right? Where we are now. And for those of you, because like there's definitely people that believe like, if I throw you in the frying pan, you're gonna have to act, and you're gonna have to act positively. And the social Darwinism, those of you that don't make it, just don't make it. Oh well, that sound nice, but remember, most of you still live amongst other black people, and I don't know if you got enough guns and ammunition. I'm just saying, right? Most of us still live amongst other black people, and you think if enough black people start starving, then maybe they'll act the way you think they should act. I don't know. Right? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. But I don't know if this is the test that you want to put black people to and other poor people, right? Now, once again, we understand that black men weren't really benefiting from affirmative action like that anyway, right? We get it. True, right? And what we found is, it was just benefiting white women, like, for the most part, right? But I think there was a culture of, like, being careful what you say to black people, what you do to black people to a certain extent, right? That's why you always have to hide the shit, the stuff that you do, right? I think it's a different, you're dealing with something different now with the repeal of these things, and now these people are going to be so much more overt, right? These people are going to be so much more overt, and I don't know if we're really ready for that, right? I think some of us think we are, and some of us truly are. How many of us are? Now that's a different question, right? Come on, these, bro, like, people that just don't know how to drive. I'm telling y'all. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, the repeal of affirmative action for schools, and if BGS is correct in what we saw in the different states that did repeal it, is a drop off in enrollment for Latinos and blacks. I mean, all right. I agree that, some of us have white friends and white associates, and so now we think everything is fine. All right. We'll see. Hopefully those white people take you along as they climb up the ladder. Hopefully, right? For our sake, for those of you that's connected to them sake, right? Yeah, once again, like, share, subscribe, hit that super chat. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not just the repealing of affirmative action or the potential, right? It's the culture behind it. It's the environment that we're in right now. It's the culture war environment. And as I was attempting to say, and I don't know how much how good I did of a job earlier trying to describe this, which is, it's not just it's not just the fact that these things are getting repealed. It's not just the fact that low key it looked like we sleepwalking or moonwalking back into the 1960s and 50s. It's the culture behind these things and what's going to happen to black people. Yes, that includes us as black men with this environment, right? That is what I think I was attempting to push earlier. I'm not about telling y'all how to think. That's why I'm part of the Black Manosphere. I want y'all to think, though. Not just with the rose-tinted glasses on. I want you to see without just the rose-tinted glasses, right? So, that's the thing for me, right? The culture that's coming behind, the culture that's pushing some of this, and the elites want this, and white women have gotten enough from affirmative action, right? And white men are tired of white women's mouthiness and their attitudes and their positionality in this society now, so they're pulling that back with the aid of other white women, funny enough, right? And so we're going to see what this looks like. And what happens when more and more white people don't fear the repercussions of openly being racist and discriminatory against you. And I know there's black people like, well, we'll just build our own businesses. See, do you have that capital yet? Yeah. Johnny Vegas says these mother effers are going to have to grow up eventually. I mean, true. I mean, true. True. And that kind of goes to exactly where I was going. Actually, I mean, like I said, I wish we had more time to get our ducks in order, but the time is coming, right? The time, well, coming. Sorry, excuse me. The time is here. I said coming. Wrong. Right? You know. Let's because if I'm not mistaken, like this thing is even for private universities and colleges, right? So we're not even talking about public, right? We're not talking about your state schools. They're going after private institutions for saying, you know what, we want to have we want a quota. We want black people here. We want LGBTQ people here. We want Latinos here. We want, different groups of people here. Right? So, what happens when they can be openly discriminatory against you across society now? They don't even have to hide or be coy about it anymore. Yeah, we ain't hire them because, right? What happens when these institutions don't even have to pretend anymore? Right? Because there's one thing, I hear the brothers, I hear y'all. I know where the energy is coming from when you're like, well, I'd rather them do it in my face than behind my back. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. But you got to remember what it takes to say something to someone's face, what it means to be bold about it, what it takes to have that. Right? I once again, I'm not playing it down. I get the energy of like, I'd rather them say it to our face. I'd rather us know. Right? But remember what it takes for that other person to be that bold, to know the institutions are behind you, right? That they won't even fire you just to save face. Charles says the time came and left $20 on the dresser after the time after he was finished, Mr. Z. Right? So I just want us to think about this. Like I said, y'all heard the tone in BGS's voice. I'm not gonna put words in BGS's mouth. But for me, I'm asking y'all, are y'all sure this is what y'all want? And have you considered, because I know we consider the positivity, right? Like these women are just gonna have to act right now, and they're gonna now let's see if they really mean it. And there's a part of me that actually agrees with that. But have y'all thought about some of the other stuff coming down the pike with this, pertaining to all black people, but particularly black men, particularly straight black men? They're already were trying to make our face like we were benefiting from this anyway, right? They were making it seem like black men were benefiting from affirmative action left and right anyway, right? So I made a video a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago now, about the politics of spite and snubbing. And I want us to revisit that video and just think, right? How far are you willing to go to snub others and to spite others and to cut your nose to spite your face? Not others cutting their nose to spite their face concerning you. Right? These are things that Mr. Z engages in also, like, right? Like self-inventory, being introspective, right? Being self-reflective, and looking at some of the things I've said and done in the past, disappointed in myself. So I'm not just telling y'all to do something I don't do, or asking you, better yet, to do something that I don't do myself, right? So, it, yeah, It's about to get it's it's going to get even more real than it already is. Right? We can't even say, excuse my language, we can't even say shit's about to get real. No, it's been real. It's been real. It's about to get a whole lot more real though. Right? And yeah, some of us, even some of us working class men, over the next few years, maybe even decade or so, some of the sisters are gonna be running to you. Them phones about to be ringing off the hook in a minute. But are you gonna want them in their super desperate state? Some of us think we will. Do you really want to see the sisters that desperate? And women in general that desperate, the ones that aren't attached to a man now, they get the notice too late, right? It ain't gonna look good, y'all. It ain't good. If man, too many things are converging at the same time. Way too many. For me, way too much is happening too fast. Way too much. The spectacle of politics, uber wealthy people buying up everything, right? Fascism on the rise, repealing of safety nets. Ugh, I don't know. Right? Even the thin veneer, what Tone Talk called it, the decadent veil being torn to tatters, being torched in front of our very eyes, which actually I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing for people to really realize their desperate situation, right? But yeah, I don't know. Where are black women gonna be without those college degrees, y'all? Middle management jobs with the titles, right? With the grandiose titles. Where are even some of the brothers gonna be? Some of the LGBTQ black people gonna be? And even some Latinas that benefited from this, right? So white women got up to about 8, supposedly. I'm going off of their words. I know the real. But white women got some 80 something something cents on the white man's dollar, and they're like, okay, yeah, we're good here, we're good here, yeah, right. You know, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, y'all. I don't know, everyone. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, Supreme Court supermajority, conservative. I mean, after the repeal of Roe versus Wade, we get this. After this, potential repeal of affirmative action, both in college admissions consideration and now maybe next year in the workplace. I mean, where does the Supreme Court go then? I mean, I'm trying to think. What's your prediction? What do you think they're going to try to repeal next? Right? Where do you go from there? Right? They're already letting the corporations buy up all the homes. Banks doing whatever the hell they want to do. Right? The car companies themselves have to step in because the dealerships are hiking up prices insane. Ford and GM had to tell the dealerships, yo, we will not send y'all cars, bro. Right? Because the government didn't even get involved. The car manufacturers, excuse me, had to get involved and be like, yo, we will not send y'all cars. They had to get involved with the dealerships, right? So the government's just out to lunch. They're just out to lunch, or actually helping the uber wealthy in the corporations, right? Ooh, Trell Bentley says repealing the 13th Amendment. Oh crap! We going right back to the goddamn. We if not, we're not going back to the plantation. But Jim Crow, here we go. Just this time, they'll make it seem like it's not color, it's class. Right? But color has been class in America since like 1619. Right? Spademan said, passports won't be a luxury, they'll be a necessity. Mr. Donnie Mac, see, Donnie, I got your name right this time. Mr. Donnie Mac says, reinstating segregation on the basis of gender, male only and female only signs. It's colorblind racism, Prince Johnny. That Prince Johnny, if you don't mind, I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna start using that. That's pretty much, to sum it all up. That's what I'm saying. Prince Johnny just put a bow on what I've been trying to say with my verbose ass. Right? It's gonna be colorblind racism, right? Or racism without the racist, right? Colorblind racism. I'm sorry, I'm not on a device right now where I can highlight that. That's a perfect statement, Prince Johnny. Right? Colorblind racism. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Perfectly said. I would highlight that if I could right now. Right? What does colorblind racism look like in a society that's not full-on fascist, but neoliberal? Right? A neoliberal, greed is good, Gordon Gekko society where race was always class, and now they telling you they're colorblind while they practice racism even more efficiently than they did 60 and 70 years ago. They don't need to be overt. They don't need to be clubbing you to death, spraying you with fire hoses, sticking dogs on you. I mean, they're going to be sticking dogs on you still, but they don't need to. Spainman says, kind of like the equality versus equity example. Bro. I mean, Tucker made a good point in his video about, essentially, I said in his video, in his segment, speaking about, and so did Dr. Thunder pretty much. Well, more Dr. Thunder. Let me take that away from Tucker. More Dr. Thunder made a really good point about, essentially, it just be like a black face that aligns with the white face. So yeah, you have, these people, black people, Latino people, Asian people in these spaces, but they pretty much think like the white man, right? Like that was the whole point of the socialization in the first place, is that they're pretty much just like that white person. What I'm saying is, like, we're getting to the place where we're not even going to pretend. We're not even going to have that black face in the space in the first place. Haha, rhyming. Prince Johnny says, thanks, but I can't take credit for it. LOL. I got it from this book called Racism Without Racist by Eduardo Silva. If Eduardo Silva is Brazilian, it makes so much sense, that title of his book. If he is Brazilian, as evidenced by that last name, potentially, then yeah, that makes sense, because that sounds like Brazil for real. That's a Brazilian would say that, because that sounds like Brazil for real. Oh, I'm just rhyming tonight, yo. I need a record deal. Man, dude, yeah. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna end it out a little early. Shout out to AB for his video, speaking about Tiffany Cross and Warnock and Herschel Walker, um, BGS in his video, Dr. Thunder in his video, right? Shout out to me, pat myself on the back for this video. Oh, okay. Prince Johnny said he is Afro-Puerto Rican. Similar kind of racial and shade dynamic, racial shade color dynamic with the blancos, the mestizos, the mulattoes, the negros, right? The indigenous folks. Yeah. Yeah. Similar kind of color-coded hierarchy. A Latino, yeah, would definitely understand. A Latino that's racially aware understands that. Yeah. Vernon King says, what I don't understand is the Supreme Court talking to lawyers on Harvard's behalf that has a legacy system that puts in more whites and push aside everyone else. So that's what I was saying on my previous video. You're not talking about legacy admissions. But this is what I want brothers to understand. Don't get caught up in the BS part of the conversation, right? Look at what's going on. They left the entire conversation of legacy admissions out of the conversation. That's not part of the conversation. They're talking about race, and when people hear race, they hear black. In America, when you hear race, you hear black, right? So they're talking about race, but the legacy admission part, which is a huge part, if I'm not mistaken, I heard it's a third. Let's say it's even a 20% or a quarter. So a fifth to a quarter, which is 1/4 to a third, are legacy admissions. So anything from 20% to 33% is legacy admissions in these, prestigious institutions, these Ivy Leagues and second-tier schools, right? But that's not part of the conversation. We just want to have the race part of the conversation, when even that's so disingenuous, because white women are the ones that's really benefiting from affirmative action like that, right? So when you think about the culture, because let's think about the narrative, right? And how the narrative is essentially unqualified Negroes are benefiting from the hard work of unqualified Negroes are benefiting from the hard work of white people of yesteryear, and then your own children can't go to these institutions. Your white children, your white sons are not able to attend these schools because black people are benefiting from something they don't deserve. Now, we're not going to talk about white women and white women. We're not going to talk about legacy admissions. We're not going to talk about the Asians buying their way in. We're not going to talk about any of that. Right? So the argument is disingenuous from the jump. Right? The argument is disingenuous from the jump. And Asians playing this kind of duplicitous game are willing to be the weapon that white supremacy uses against everyone else. And yeah, they're going to get a couple of crumbs off the table for that, but they ain't going to benefit that greatly. Like I said earlier, you think these same white conservatives are going to allow those schools to become 1/3, a quarter plus Asian? Outside of maybe a few schools on the West Coast? Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. They're not going to let Harvard turn into a quarter Asian students. Nah. So these same people are going to use you as a weapon, essentially against black people, but it's really to, pull the chain on white women. But they're not going to let you benefit the way you think. It's like what is it? No honor amongst thieves. That's what we're witnessing right now. Non-black people playing this game, but once again, no honor amongst thieves, right? Trail Bentley said the whole argument is bull caca. uh, this whole argument is just man. Being black in America, bro. Being black in America. I'm really rubbing my temples right now, y'all. I really am. I'm doing the woosah thing right now. Being a black man in America. Oh, this like 3D chess thing they're doing right now, right? Like I said, I hope those of us in here that were celebrating, not so much the brothers that were indifferent. I get the brothers that were indifferent. I get that, right? Especially considering how many black men did not benefit from this over the past 35-ish, 40 years. I'm not going to go all the way to when it first was, when these civil rights laws were first coming in the 60s. I'm not going all the way to 1860s. I'm talking about the 1960s, you know, because black men did benefit a little bit up until about 1970, about 1980-ish, right? And then it just all went, like, kind of started mudsliding down the drain, right? There we go. We're reconnecting. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I pressed the wrong button and it like blocked me out of my own space. See, because I got to keep on clicking back and forth to see you guys' comments. Prince Johnny, I ain't gonna read that last comment. I agree though. I agree. Right? At least that's how both of them act. She act like that and he acts like that. Right? Yeah. So, I'm like I said, y'all check. I mean, I think all of us have already watched BGS's video, right? DeVito says we don't need no man. Those sisters that say that about to get put to the test. I don't think they understand how much they, because when I listen to Real Talk with Yanni speak, and when I listen to Paris Milan speak, I don't think they fully see Paris Milan. Maybe she might be acting, but they all might be acting. Let's give them their credit. They're smarter than maybe what I'm considering. But at least from what they're portraying online, they act like they don't really understand how much they've benefited from like the narrative over the past 50 years. It's as if they don't. It's a person that's tearing down something that was built for them, or like that benefited them. Not built for them, that benefited them, but they don't realize how much it benefited them, so they like tear it down, or they insult it, right? Or they think it doesn't matter, or they let it atrophy. That's better. Boom. They let it atrophy, right? So, yeah, these, you know, I mean, I'm also reminded of when Dr. Umar Johnson was speaking, and that what show was that with what's her name, to start with a T, not Tamara, Tamron. No, it's not Tamron, because I'm thinking about Tamron Hall. But anyway, the show that he was on, the Fox Soul show with Cynthia G, and he was speaking about, you know, how there's no programs really for black men and whatnot. And it just reminds me of a lot of what black women say, like, but we're women, so yeah, of course we're supposed to benefit from these programs. Well, what happens when you don't have the program anymore? Yeah. I think, hey, y'all, where all this smoke come from? And they're shuffling in the leaves and stuff. And what's going on? I think a smoke bomb just went off. Oh, look, it's Nameless. Right? The Nameless protagonist says, folks don't realize the culture war went from implied to cold. Yeah. And by the time they realized it will be hot. Yeah. Well, to me, it's heating up right now, Nameless. And what is happening in Europe will very soon happen here. Winter is here early. Shit. Yeah. This culture war thing is ridiculous, bro. And I think that's what BGS was kind of going into. That's why I know I wasn't the only one that heard BGS, especially in the last couple minutes, right? I know I wasn't the only one that heard that, bro. That somber tone in BGS voice was like, are y'all sure y'all ready for this? Right? The culture war is here. You heard it. You heard it here. You heard it here first. Winter is here early. You heard it. You heard it from nameless protagonists. I kind of agree. No, screw kind of. I agree. Right? Admiral Smoke. Admirals. What? Let me freaking accent. Like, right? Okay. Admiral Smoke. Couldn't get that out. Jesus Christ. I say go for it. It is like pulling a thread on a sweater in a cartoon. It all comes apart. Yeah. Remember, comment moved them. I'm sorry. Remember, it took the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 to completely overturn the Chinese exclusion. Yeah. Okay, so what we're saying, I guess what we're saying here is people don't realize how tenuous all of these things are. And so they're pulling on a string that they don't like, not realizing that this whole thing's about to fall apart. In other words, you're pulling the Jenga blocks apart, and this thing's about to crash down. Is what we're saying. Because I think that's what I'm saying, what Nameless is saying, and what Admiral Smoke is saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. The Nameless protagonist says, people misunderstand the culture war. They really do. They don't realize that the fence just got de-electrified. They don't know what the threats have been held at bay due to it being up. Yo, that's what I mean. For all the bad of it, right? Because we talk about like PC culture, right? And for all the bad of it, and there's a lot of bad. Think about all the purple hair feminists, right? White feminists. It was holding back a lot of the wolves. At least they had to pretend. Ain't no pretending no more. Slowly but surely. And I'm not just talking about legal precedent, right? I'm not just talking about the repeal of Roe versus Wade and the repeal of this, right? Affirmative action. I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about corporate greed also. I'm talking about Twitter, right? I'm talking about all of this happening all that back to back to back to back to back. Plus you live in post-COVID, right? All of this happening like back to back. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And that's unfortunate, Nameless. Nameless said they will find out soon, so will the children. Man. Yeah. Yeah. All of y'all that said y'all wanted to go back to the 1950s, all right. Right? All right. D. Scott said, starting from the beginning, so far I gather that when your girlfriend sleeps, you eat. This is for the Popeyes. I'm not eating Popeyes, D. Scott. I'm at Fridays, and my food probably been ready for like 20 minutes. My mozzarella sticks are gonna be cold as hell. My mozzarella sticks are gonna be not even room temperature. Right? See, okay, exactly. I mean, the underlying disdain other groups in America have for Americans, for Black Americans, excuse me. Let me read that again because I really want to stress that. I mean, the underlying disdain other groups in America have for Black Americans that was being capped. Yeah, by the electric fence. Yes. Yeah, I get it. Yo, I hope not, Trail Bentley. Trell says, corporate greed. I heard rumors that there are layoffs to come. You said come, but to come Q1 and Q2. So quarter 1 and quarter 2 of next year. Man, hey, what we doing? Fear porn now? Let's just go all the way. Screw it. Screw it. Yeah, this ain't looking good, bro. I'm gonna rewatch Hunger Games with new eyes. I'm going to rewatch Hunger Game with new eyes, y'all. Right? Because because the backdrop of the story is because everybody looks at the action of the story and whatever, yeah, cool. The backdrop of the story, though, right? That's the important part. The social dystopian part of the story. Remember, I've said it before, Nameless has said it before. Technological utopia, social dystopia. Right? Charles O. Anti-hero ass says, I don't... I got your ass, Charles. Charles says, I don't see what's the problem. I think that a lot of people have been asking for some that they have no comprehension of. Yeah, bro. Yeah, all right. I know why the white guys want to go back to the 1950s. But you brothers, why y'all? Some of y'all want to go back to the 1950s? I don't know. Well, we had our own businesses, bruh. Not like how you think. It's not like what you think. Right? Ready Player One. Shout out to Mr. Donnie Mac. He says, Mr. Donnie Mac says Hunger Games, Handmaid's Tale, and Ready Player One, the future. Bruh. I'm telling you. So I'm going to see my dad on Sunday, and I'm going to talk to him about that. Stan Shelton says, what's up with BBQ over in Haiti with the blockade? I'm like I said, I'm seeing my dad on Sunday, and I will talk to him, and I'll try to give y'all, I'll try to do a Haitian report. If I could get a hold, and I'm actually going to talk to my dad to see if he knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows Pascal Robert. So maybe, possibly, probably not, but let's see. The Giver, I like the Giver. I like The Giver, right? Great book, right? But yeah, maybe I could have Pascal run down. I mean, he's done it on other people's channels. But I think he did it on the Majority Report. He's spoken about some of the things going on in Haiti. But yeah, maybe if I could find somebody that know Pascal Robert, because I think he's fire. Kareen says, shout out to Kareen. Yes, I heard that the U.S. has attacked and have troops there ready to invade. Yeah, they've been doing that forever. Man. Charles says, honestly, I think that totalitarianism wouldn't be so wrong, especially for the black people to get their shit together and realize that everyone is against you. And see, I think this is where me and you split a little, Charles. I think that it would be so harsh of a lesson. I don't know how many black people come out on the other side. I don't know how many black people come out on the other side and not traumatized to hell, almost immobilized because of the trauma. Because I do think that the social Darwinism dictates that there will be people that rise to the top because of that, because it's so harsh. And that's when you get the geniuses of everything, right? Everything from culture and music to science and math and technology, right? You get that. But what you get is the masses of people, namely black people, just being crushed under that weight. right? Yeah. What do you say? Charles says, read the last two comments. The Giver. I had to read that book in the fifth grade, me too, and I had the flu. I don't remember it that well though. I don't remember. You know, you're a kid, so you just like "Oh, I read it, but you really like skimming through it, right? I gotta reread that. And this other one Charles put was, "Fuck The Giver. I didn't enjoy it because I was sick." Stan Shelton, thank you, brother, for the 10 on the super chat. He says, "Help with that Haiti story, much appreciated." Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna try. I'm going to try to remember to ask my dad that if he knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows Pascal, and if I could pull some strings and get Pascal on the channel, right? Yeah. And Charles says, "You're gonna get the strongest, the smartest, the best of the best." Whenever I hear the best of the best, I think about Men in Black, the best of the best of the best, sir. Right? But Charles says, "You're gonna get the strongest, the smartest, the best of the best, or the best. Unfortunately, everyone not gonna make it." That's what I'm saying. Gotta make it, but then again, I think you mean then again, we're barely making it all right now. Yeah, yeah. Admiral Smoke says, "Mr. Z, Charles is right. It would clean house. No one would ever question racism again." So that's the part I agree with y'all on. So that I think everybody in the room is in full agreement, right? That when the conservative brothers that's here, the progressive brothers that's here, the liberal brothers that's here, I think that's one thing that that we're all in agreement with. Excuse my language, got to curse here. The shit's gonna be so rough and tough and overbearing that there will be no more questioning this racism thing. And I think it is even gonna check a lot of sisters, be like, "Oh, black men, your number one problem? All right, let's see." Right? Zavi said, "How's the car?" It is the alternator, so I guessed it right earlier today. I told the mechanic to check the plugs and the ignition coils because I have a slight misfire anyway, and hopefully it's the plugs because it's the cheapest. If not the ignition coils, at least maybe a couple, right? Hopefully not more than maybe two. And at worst, it's the engine wire harness. I'm praying to God it's not the engine wire harness or the turbos, because those are grams. That's like thousands of dollars of like parts and labor. Please, not so much parts, but when you put parts and labor, yes. And then I mean the Z gonna have to sit for a little bit so I could get everything together. Look, Mr. Z don't lie to y'all about none of this. And plus, this is what I signed up for. I'm a car guy. I like cars. The 300ZX twin turbo is like one of my dream cars, along with the R33 GTR V-Spec, which I got priced out of immediately when they were available in America. Them shit started off at $55,000 plus being imported from Japan. I can't touch that shit. I can't. You can't justify a 25-year-old car that's $50,000+ that you're not even driving every day. It's a toy. Nah, can't do it. So yeah, I got priced out. So I at least own a 300ZX twin turbo, which is my other dream car, and now it's about maintaining it and to the future, and maybe pass it on to a son. And if he's not into it, then maybe a grandson. If not, then they decide what they want to do to it, sell it, whatever. But yeah, yeah, yep. The nameless protagonist says, "Honestly though, little changes for black men, except for men closer to the top who are shrouded by networks that don't look like them." And that's the catch, right? Yeah, you up there, but how does it look up there? How does it look? And then how does it look? Ooh, how does it look up there with the repeal of things like this? Right? Kareen says, "My thing with Kyrie debacle is, why didn't they ban the movie? Wait a minute, ban the movie off of Amazon or call out Bezos using Kyrie as a scapegoat and using this to get back at him for last year's vaccine BS. Spain Man said a little something on the Popeyes. Y'all niggas gonna keep on pushing the Popeyes. I did not get Popeyes. I'm sitting in front of Fridays. My food been ready for like 45 minutes probably, right? Oh man. But shout out to y'all. So that's my thing now. I'm just the Popeyes guy. Popeyes is fire though, y'all. Spicy chicken. Popeyes spicy. I'm a legs and wing guy. I'm not a breast and thigh guy, right? Popeyes spicy. Y'all trying to tell me that's not fire? You trying to tell me that's not like, if that's not like Louisiana, they stole that recipe from some black man or black woman. Y'all know that. Y'all know that, right? There's no way. There's no way that Popeyes is not some black woman, black man stolen from recipe. It's that, like, I refuse to believe it. Right? The electrician 480 says, attention black men, we're going to have to be 10 times better than our competition. BGS dropped black pill and he's right. I agree. Shout out to electrician for the 5. And Kareen just gave me a super sticker. Thank you, sister Kareen. Right? Thank you. DeVito says 3-piece tender combo. Bruh, I like chicken tenders, and when they do the little like chicken bite thingies, it's like, what do they call them? Like, they don't call them chicken bites, but they're even smaller than the chicken tenders, right? The thing is, that thing messed my stomach up, bro. And I always get it in spicy. Duh. Why would I ever get Popeyes not in spicy? Shout out to you brothers that don't eat spicy. I get it, but I gotta do it, right? And when I get spicy chicken tenders, or when they do like the specials and they have the chicken bites, which they don't always have in season, bro, it messed my stomach up. And my dumb ass still gets it. Right? Like a retard. Right? It's not popcorn chicken, DeVito. It's bigger than popcorn chicken, right? But yeah. Admiral Smoke says, if blacks left America, other groups would get a hard lesson. I agree, 1 billion%. Give me a second. The very precedent of civil rights will be gone. Roll back everything. Hey, bro, there is a part of me, so this is where I agree with Charles and Admiral Smoke 100%. There is a part of me that's like, all right, scorch earth then. If black men don't win, nobody win. There's a part of me that's like, okay, if the white people get to do it, why can't we do it too? If black people but black men namely don't win, then nobody win. Right? Or at least if the system isn't gonna be fair to black men, then screw everybody. There is a part of me that's on that. That part definitely. If everybody's gonna watch the system keep on tripping up black men and nobody says anything, or at best we get y'all to tacitly say something when the most egregious thing happens to a black man on camera and there's no excuses, that's the best the society's gonna do, and then take all of that like social cachet and then spend it on everybody else but black men. Yeah, no more of that. Nope, no more of that. Trail Bentley said, fuck all y'all. Exactly. No more of that. At that part, yeah, I'm with everybody on that one. Right? Y'all know I've worked for the Florida Democratic Party. I said it. I told y'all that was investigating me, bro. I'm not lying. I said it. I said it, right? I was like, yo, a lot of black men are like, so what if Trump wins? We're on the bottom anyway. And I said that around a bunch of white liberals, a couple of Asians, right? A couple of Latinos, and one black woman, and two brothers that were black LGBTQ. Yes, I was the only straight black man in the damn group. Right? Oh, and 2 white dudes. Right? And yeah, I said it. Right? Mr. Charles Faulkner Jr., Mr. Officer Supreme himself, says, but for the longest time, I've told black men, You have no allies. You need to form up like Voltron, true, and unite your resources. Is support black male content. Yeah. Well, and support black male content. Yep. Yep. Cheryl Bentley told me to look up the Spainman's comment. Spainman says, I look at it like preppers. They're almost begging for a shit hit the fan moment just so they can be vindicated. Bro, and there you go. And there you go. I don't, like, I'm so much in agreement with so many of y'all, even some of my conservative brothers. But where I don't cross the line is like celebrating watching Armageddon happen. Like, I can't do that shit. I can't do that. Now, if I pushed Armageddon because I'm like, okay, y'all being supremely unfair, so screw it, that's a different question. But when somebody else is pushes Armageddon because they're throwing a temper tantrum because they only had to experience just a teeny tiny bit of black maleness for like all of, I don't know, 2 decades, 3 decades, that's a different conversation. Right? That's different. Yeah. All right, you guys. Look, I'm never gonna get this food messing with y'all. But let me read a couple more comments. Detroit says the system is not going to be fair to black men with the reconcile school system, corporate office, transportation authorities. Well, what choice would they have? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Dimcat. I've been following Dimcat for Dimcat lost weight like a mug. Dimcat skinny now. Yeah, I've been following Dimcat forever. That's the original brother prepper. Dimcat been prepping since been prepping. But y'all, when Mr. Z said he was a YouTube junkie, y'all thought I was playing? Right? What the Hotter Soul said, shout out to Dimcat, brother who's a prepper on here. Yeah. I've been following Dimcat. I've actually called in the Dimcat a couple times. That brother, oh, he's always in the cut. He's always in BFE part of America. Right? Brother that lost 1 billion pounds. The brother that lost weight, right? He been prepping since been prepping. Me too. Actually, Spainman said has to be one of my first subs. Yeah, I've been subscribed. I want to say over a decade. I've been following Dimcat for a long time. Right? I've been following Dimcat for a long time. Yeah. So you guys, I'm about to close it out. Go get my food. They might have to make me new food. Right? Or cook me up some new food. I always get the chicken and shrimp pasta and mozzarella sticks. I gotta enjoy cheese now before I turn 40 because apparently that's when they finger test your bunghole. Right? Right? That's when you really gotta slow up on cheese. You really should be slow up. I should actually be slowing up on cheese now. So I am. Right? But yeah. So, yeah. Slow up on everything. What you do in your 20s and 30s catches up to you in your 40s and 50s, right? Yeah, Spainman says that's true. He does a good job walking the race line. Yeah, Dimcat does. Red Lobster biscuits are the best thing ever. Right? Says Spainman. Oh, wait, no, that was Detroit that said the Red Lobster thing. Okay. All right, you guys. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. I will pause right here. Great conversation as per usual, right? Thanks for being here. Nameless and everybody else, Charles and everybody else, all you brothers, thank you once again. Listen, I get it. I get it, y'all, right? Chaos, you like late as hell. I'm about to close the door. He's like, hey, bro. Right? But yeah, so I get it, y'all. But the repeal of affirmative action, I don't know. It's symbolically even. For me, it's not even because we know like it's in you could argue it's actually screwed us because if you put white women in that place, if you allow so many white women to eat off of this and they're still marrying white men, obviously, right? They it actually did hurt us in a roundabout way if you think about it in that way, right? Because these white families get to go off with the extra money and the minority status of the white woman still with the power and everything of the white man, right? But for me, it's the symbolic, it's the symbolism of affirmative action and what white people think it means and then them going after it, right? I'm talking about your average white person, not the Tucker Carlsons that's trying to use it to get at white women, right? Gucci boots, right? Gucci footed boots, right? So yeah, so shout out to Bill Burr, right? So for me, that's why I'm like I'm a little iffy about it because I know why y'all are against it. The ones that are, I know why y'all are like screw it, burn it to the ground. I actually agree with that. But for me, it's what it represents and them going after it, and then what that means for black people, black men specifically, right? So I will truly pause right there. Great conversation as usual. Shout out to all of y'all. Love. I'm still here. I'm still here. I pressed the damn wrong button again, y'all. It be happening. It be happening. Right? So love, peace, and chicken grease. And, and I will end it right there. And, jeez, bro. Shout out to BGS. Great, great. Oh, so Nameless said he will likely open a dojo. Nameless, I'll be there. I'll be there in a little bit. Let me go get my food, eat, go home, shower and stuff. And yeah, I'll probably be there. I'll probably be there. I'm gonna get twisted. I'm gonna go try to make me something to drink while I'm eating. So yeah, if Nameless opens one, I'll try to be there, and then we could, if Nameless don't mind, we could further that conversation on Nameless's channel. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out.